What's up, sports bettors? We have 8 NBA games today as well as Monday Night Football. You can see some lines are moving. You can see the Jazz just moved from minus 130 down to minus 127. So what I'm going to be taking you through is just my 5 favorite player prop bets. I have 4 NBA player props, 1 NFL player prop, and we're going to go through them all. And again, really the purpose of the OddsJam YouTube is to just kind of show you the importance of, following the data, finding sharp bets, and kind of explaining to you how to form your own profitable sports betting strategies. So what we're going to look at today is the Positive EV page on OddsJam. And again, all this tool does is it kind of takes all the data in the sports betting market. So here you can see, this is just player points for Magic Knicks. So all OddsJam does for you, the Positive EV page, is it takes all this data, all the odds, and shows you where the value is. So the first play I have is Paolo over 18.5 points. So this bet is on Betfred, minus 110. You can see here, no other sportsbooks giving us better than minus 120. Caesars has this minus 135, FanDuel minus 120, Unibet, DraftKings minus 129, minus 150, and then minus 141 on Pinnacle, the sharpest sportsbook in the world. So as a Positive EV bettor, you're using all the data, all the odds in the market to zone in on line discrepancies, right? Zone in on where there's value enough to beat the vig, beat the juice, and have a positive expected return, which is in this play, right? This is the top profit margin bet, which is typically how I sort OddsJam. 5.42% return on Paolo over 18.5 points, right? So you can see here, Pinnacle's pricing this at minus 141. So they have the over a lot more juiced. Same with DraftKings, Caesars, Unibet. So you can see here, if Pinnacle has the over at minus 141, they're giving you plus 105 on the under. Even with the vig removed, the true line is going to be minus 120, right? So Pinnacle's model, the model from the sharpest sportsbook, is saying this should be minus 120. We're getting minus 110 on Betfred, which is why this bet is Positive EV. So that's the first play I went with. Next, I have Wendell Carter under 14.5 points. Slightly lower profit margin, but still like this play. I mean, you can see FanDuel, Caesars, and Pinnacle all have the under favored. So although there's a little bit of disagreement in the market, it's pretty clear that there's great value on this play at plus 100 when the average line is minus 110 across the entire market, the no vig line, right? So the way that bookmakers make money is they charge the vig, they charge the juice, they charge a spread. So what we want to do is take Pinnacle's market and remove the vig. So you can see they have the under 14.5 points for Wendell Carter Jr. at minus 132. They had the over at plus 100, so the true line according to Pinnacle would be minus 114. So you can see other sportsbooks are less bullish on the under, but still a lot of value at plus 100. Being a Positive EV bettor, you're essentially looking at all the data in the market, all the sportsbook odds, and saying, hey, this sportsbook, thinks the true odds with the vig removed for Wendell Carter Jr. is minus 105. This sportsbook thinks it's minus 110. This sportsbook minus 116. So clearly, we're getting pretty good value at plus 100, right? So you're using every sportsbook kind of as an independent data point of where the line should be set, and then hunting for value, right? And being able to get Wendell Carter under 14.5 points at plus 100 odds is ridiculous value. So here's my NFL prop. Again, every sportsbook telling us, hey, this under should be favored, right? It's kind of like a bunch of different, exchanges telling you the stock should be priced at $400. You're able to buy it at $300. It's just a no-brainer, right? So here's the same thing. All the sportsbooks are telling us, hey, the under should be heavily juiced from like minus 125 to minus 140-ish. We're getting it minus 105, ridiculous value. You can see today, it's not always the case, but there's a lot of value on Betfred, which is why it's important to have multiple sportsbooks. All these bookmakers, they want to be unique, they set lines independently. So you need as many accounts as possible to be able to place this many, profitable bets on a daily basis. So the reason this video is about Betfred is there was just a lot of betting opportunities when they posted their player prop odds for today in the NBA and NFL. So Justin Fields under 24.5 passing attempts, Ben Simmons under 8.5 points, ridiculous value at plus 100. It's minus 130 on FanDuel, minus 120 on DraftKings. Pinnacle has this minus 132, so just a bunch of value at plus 100. And then I already have a bet on DeRozan from earlier, if you remember. I have him over 23.5 points on Thrive Fantasy in this fantasy entry, so I skipped this play on his over and took Jalen Smith over 6.5 rebounds at minus 105. Once again, super clear value. No other sportsbooks giving us better than minus 117. Love this play. Bet Online, Pinnacle, two of the sharpest bookmakers, pricing this at minus 131 and minus 141. So I hit all of these bets. Here you can see 1, 2, Wendell Carter under 14.5 points. You know, for $250, Justin Fields under 24.5 passing attempts. Simmons under 8.5 points. Jalen Smith over 6.5 rebounds. So I hit all these plays, you know, kind of for $250. The total profit margin of all these bets, so you just take your edge, right? This is just the profit margin of your bet, and you multiply it by your stake. So here, for example, the first bet, which we absolutely love, is Branchero over 18.5 points, right? This was the highest profit margin play, 5.42%. So we hit it for $250. The profit margin's 5.42%. So our bet has $13.55 in EV, or profit margin, right? You just take your edge from OddsJam and you multiply it by your stake. So this bet has $13.55 in total profit margin. So our 5 bets combined have $54.78 in profit margin. I added it to my sheet where I'm tracking profit and loss for all my plays. You know, we're currently up 22K. Since the start of football season, when I started, you know, just tracking profit and loss for all these YouTube plays. So all these bets are for today, so I have to update this. But hopefully we can keep it going. You know, just using math, using data to zone in on bets, not following our gut. That's what OddsJam's all about. You know, getting a positive value, expected return, place as many of those bets as possible, and you're on your way to making big money with OddsJam. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, and let's make some money if you're able to tail these.